What I'm going to do today is I'm going to recreate a problem with a floating point division by zero error after creating a radiused wall using the frame design tool. So what I'm going to do is start off with a new quote, select this frame type, and use the frame design tool to create a radiused wall. So first off, I'm going to use the resource wizard to insert this unit template. But it gives me an invalid floating point operation error. So I'm just going to cancel out of this quote, and make a new one again using the same frame type. So rather than using the wizard, I'm going to select multiple lights at a time by face. But unfortunately, this also gives me the same error. So I have to cancel out of this code again. Same frame type. So the only way I could get it to work is by inserting the unit templates one light at a time. So for test purposes, this is only 2 columns wide, but on one of our projects, on a couple of the elevations, some of the elevation columns are 36 base wide. To enable the emarks, I get a list of my emarks. So it looks good, except down here on the bottom where the glass is it's too short. Turning on the extrusions, you can see my sill member is down at the bottom, but the glass is floating up. I'm going to zoom into this face. Open this frame resource. Display the extrusions. And here, the sill member is raised up. But it looks like the top of the sill member is projected down. If I do a CAD link, there's this gap between the sill member and the bottom of the glass. And as I move up the elevation, the glass is migrating towards higher and higher up the face of the horizontals. Another thing to note is when we export the VRML, the output has all these extra lines. And the verticals are distorted. What I'm going to do is make a new frame. I'm going to create a flat version. Same frame type. I'm going to use the resource wizard to insert these frames. And it worked okay on this elevation. I didn't have an error like I did on the radius wall. I do a CAD link on this elevation, and the glass is working the way it's supposed to be. The templates I have that I'm using have constraint dimensions. And it works on the flat wall. But when I go to this radius wall, the dimensions are different, and they change as I go up the elevation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this new quote. I'm going to close it and reopen it. The first quote item is the radius wall, and the second item is the flat wall. So here, just trying to access the radius wall, I get a floating point division by 0 error. Quantity is set to 0, and when I try to access the drawing board, the elevation is missing. The BOM is also missing. But when I try to access the flat elevation, the BOM and the elevation exist. Accessing the BOM for the quote is blank also. So this is the error that we've been getting with a radius wall, and we can't use this quote at all.